Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. I'm sending you all love and high vibrations. Hopefully, all of you tuned into the interview I had with 3T Warrior Academy. It's uploaded on his channel if you missed it. During the interview, I gave an introduction lesson to Gematria and how to utilize it for this crypto market. I had an awesome time chatting with Coach JV, and hopefully, we could connect again in the future for another podcast. Also, welcome to all the new subscribers that have come over from 3T Warriors channel. I hope all of you got a big glass of water for these red pills you're about to swallow. Much love to all of you who are new here. And remember, you're here for a reason. So today we're going to jump into the Bitcoin and XRP charts and also give a quick look at Theta tokens since Theta's 3.0 mainnet launches later today. I'll give you guys some price targets to look out for Theta and what we could expect after the launch. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe, turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. Also, just a reminder, I'm running a sale on my Mastermind course until the end of this month. For those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course with the promo code in the pinned comment below to get a discount. My email's in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. We have 2 more days left of the sale, so make sure to reach out to me if you'd like to join. And tomorrow starts a new month on Patreon for those of you that have been waiting patiently to join. Much love. I appreciate you. I'll be dedicating the month of July to a Gematria masterclass. So each week of the month, I'll be releasing a new decode of a cryptocurrency the Mastermind community members voted on. 4 weeks, 4 decodes. And that'll add even more value to the Mastermind community membership, and by the end of the month, you'll be able to be much more proficient in utilizing Gematria for your own research and your own technical analysis. And that being said, let's take the red pill. So we're going to start here with Theta, actually. I think this is a good place to start. Market's a little bit shaky today, which is kind of interesting because the stock market's actually doing really well. I believe the NASDAQ, S&P, Dow are pretty much all putting on new all-time highs today. But again, yesterday and the day before was very bullish for crypto, and typically when crypto's bullish for multiple days straight, you get some pullbacks, and that's completely fine. So the 2 things we can discuss right off the bat is on this daily chart. We're seeing that we do have a little bit of support on this 200 simple moving average, and daily closures below this 200 simple is typically indicative of heading down to lows in the previous structure, which is sitting around $5.25. Essentially anything breaking $5.25 to the downside, you're gonna see an attempt at a double bottom. This double bottom would be coming in around 375. That's very, very possible because the mainnet launch, I believe, is in about 3 or 4 hours. So here we are, Theta mainnet 3.0, and this is pretty normal price action. Now, anyone who's been around this market for a while that's seen updates happen, mainnet launches, etc., staking being introduced, whatever it is. Typically on the day of, the day after, you get some volatility. Could mostly project to the downside, but we do want to talk about the bullish outcome that I see in the cards, and that's when we get into the Gematria. Okay, so Theta equals 27, and we're actually entering the 27th week of the year starting next week. That's very bullish in my opinion, because it will be the week of a new moon. And typically, whenever we have a new moon, we see bullish prices in Bitcoin. And whenever Bitcoin's bullish, everything else is bullish. But another thing I wanted to discuss is this. So we got Theta mainnet 3.0, and we're getting this 71, which is like July 1st. It's amazing how this code works. So of course, the first day of this release is in the Gematria. So we're getting this July 1st, but I'm really actually interested in this 197 number. So we're going to be approaching the 197th day of the year around July 16th or July 17th, depending on how you like to decode. So I'll show you that really quickly. Essentially, we're just going here from January 1st. and we're going to move that over 197 days, and you're going to see that we're sitting around July 17th. The day before would actually be the 197th day, and this is interesting to know because this 197 number actually is the 45th prime number. And now the 45 and 54 is really critical because it comes back to Venus. And I've showed you guys before how Theta actually matches all the same ciphers as Venus. So we see this 18, 81, 54, 27, 19. We're going to press enter, and then we'll type in Venus, and we got that 18, 81, 54, 27. So it's pretty much matching all the ciphers, and I've gone over this before in previous decodes. So if you check through my channel, if you're new here, just type in Theta in the search, and you'll see all of my Theta decodes thus far. But anyways, getting back to this Theta mainnet 3.0 and the 197 number being the 45th prime, and it's coming back to that 4554 as above, so below. Another thing that's really interesting is this 197th day of July 16th is actually a Friday. And again, like I brought up on the interview yesterday, whenever you're seeing all this confluence, because Friday is Viernes or Venus, the day of Venus, it's amazing. So you got to pay attention to these little details because the devil's in the details, right? So this Theta 3.0 mainnet also coming back to this 52 number. It's really interesting. So this 52 number I've been thinking about quite often because of the 25, and we were discussing that a couple weeks ago because of the 25th week of the year. This 25 comes back to a lot of key words. Be touching that on future videos, but this 52, like there's 52 weeks in a year. So I'm postulating that we could get that 52nd week blow off top around the new year, and I'll be saving that prediction for a future video. So let's get back to the TA real quick, and then we'll move on to the Bitcoin chart. So in order for this to flip bullish, first and foremost, we need MACD to start chugging to the upside. At this time, MACD is technically bearish, and then we're seeing support on this 200. I would like to see this actually start to ramp up and get daily closures above the 55 simple moving average, which is this white moving average. Been having a lot of trouble getting daily closures above that 55, which would be indicative of daily closures above the 382 fib. Then anything essentially breaking above this 0.5 fib to the upside would be a bull trap. So I would be anticipating that we get a bull trap across the board for everything over the next 2 to 3 months, and potential retests of lower levels. Again, right now we're sitting at all-time highs in the stock market. The dollar index is just chopping around left and right. So we have to just be patient. It's all about patience right now. And for those of you that have been around my work for a while, you heard me say since this big sell-off in May 19th to expect 2 to 3 months of choppy sideways price action. Here we are about 40 days later since that event, and that's been spot on. And what I consider this whole moment for everything in crypto is what's called a reaccumulation after decline in Wyckoff. So I'll be getting into that more starting in next month, but for now, basically anything breaking below these levels of $5.25 would break the structure to the downside for a double bottom. We could see that happen, and it could happen very fast. We've seen Theta go from 370 all the way up to $8.70 in less than 24 hours. It's cryptocurrency. It's a wild ride. So before we move into the Bitcoin chart, go ahead and take a second to like this video if you haven't already. If you're new here, subscribe if you like what we're doing. I appreciate all of you. Let's move into the Bitcoin chart because I think there's something really kind of interesting here, which is all of our trend lines. So remember in yesterday's video, I was bringing up this RSI and how the RSI actually broke to the upside, but then look at what's going on today. We actually had a perfect rejection off this RSI after today's price action. So this trend line is super strong, and we got a noticeable rejection. Then we're going to move in here. I'm going to remove all this excess noise, and we're just going to show you the trend lines right now. So remember I was bringing up this white trend line, perfect rejection yesterday, and then if we're going log, which would also be pretty fine, this blue trend line that we're seeing. So remember I was showing you yesterday we had the bull trap top, which led to the massive sell-off. Then we had a touch point back on the new moon time frame, and then we got rejected yesterday. It almost looked like we wanted to break above it, but we got rejected, and now we're coming back, and we actually are making lower lows in the structure compared to yesterday. If today's daily closure actually settles below 34,300, that would be a bearish engulfing candle, and I would anticipate that this is going to chop around until about maybe the first couple of days of July. Every single weekend in this market has been really, really weird. Saturdays have been very bearish, and Sundays have been a wild card. We've seen Sundays have massive bullish green buybacks, and that's sometimes just indicative of whales selling, putting limit buys at the bottoms before the weekend start. And then when CME opens, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, when that opens on Sunday night, we typically always recover. So any bearish price action over weekends during this time has been awesome entry opportunities. Again, that's not financial or trading advice. So we can see that, let me just touch on this idea real quick. You guys have heard me quite often say that I don't prefer to use trend lines. But you can see the trend lines that we've been using on this channel have been pretty spot on for months now. So my big target that I'm looking to break through is this dome, this white firmament is what I call it. We need to break through that dome and let the waters above come through. And then once we see that, I would assume we start seeing higher 30,000s and trading in those levels, and not really as much trading in the lower 30,000 levels. But for now, again, my call is we're moving up bullish into the next new moon, which is around July 9th. And then we can anticipate pullbacks probably to the same trading level we're at today. And that would be coming back to my initial analysis of choppy and sideways all the way until the summer is over, until the beginning of September pretty much. So one other thing to bring up is the fact that we have a monthly close tonight. So this monthly close is actually pretty problematic if you look at it from a technical perspective. So I'm going to bring up this moving average right here, this yellow moving average. I like to use the 8 symbol, but I'm actually going to change this to the 10. The 10 is more classic in the monthly analysis, and we are trading above it. So pretty much we've never had a bull run that had a monthly close before the 10 simple on the monthly. It just hasn't happened. So the one thing that is okay is that now, if you see right here back in the blow off of the 2017 run into 2018, we had a massive liquidity event all the way down to what was actually the 55 simple moving average on the daily, and then we had about a 100% buyback up over the next 2 weeks. You could see right there 96% gains. It actually was a little higher. I believe it was 98, and then the bull market ended. But this, nobody should rule this out, okay? Because we did just touch on the 55 last week and this week. So I'm not saying that the bull run is over. I just think that this is going to be a different bull run than ones we've seen before. And because of the Shemitah coming up in September, people need to understand this is the first time ever in a bull market for crypto where we were trading in a bull run during a Shemitah. So the Shemitah will be starting in September of 2021, and back here the Shemitah started in September of 2014. So it was after the bull run was over, and it was in a noticeable bearish phase. And if you look at the time frame between September to September, this 12-month span, that was one of the greatest times to buy Bitcoin before the next bull run. So it's in the cards, in my opinion, that between January of 2020, between the September timeframe of 2022 to the January timeframe of 2023, that's probably going to be the greatest buying opportunity for cryptocurrency before the next advance. And of course, you'd be buying in 2 years before the next run. But anyways, that's in the future. We don't have to worry about that today. So I would, of course, like to see this monthly close stay above 34,000. 34,000 would be textbook. I like to use the 9 on the monthly, and we're just not there. We're below it. So this is bearish. It's looking very, very scary from a technical perspective. But then that comes back to what I said earlier. Okay, just a quick little note about what I said earlier in the week. This bull run is different because we have massive amounts of leverage. Another thing we have that's different from the 2017 bull run is the ease of access to investing for retail investors. Even over the last 6 months, we've seen Coinbase and Binance.us, which are massive US exchanges, offer so many new crypto tokens, altcoins that were kind of difficult to get for the average person in America. Now it's easy. So we all need to understand that this is quite different than the previous bull run. The bull run that we had in 2017 had almost no leverage exchanges, especially 100x leverage, and it wasn't available easily if there was a way to do it. It's very important people know that. Also, in the last bull run, people were more keen on taking profits into Bitcoin on all these altcoins. In this bull run, it's had a lot more exposure to the market as a whole. There's a lot more social media coverage, mainstream media coverage, and that has made a lot more people want to take profits in US dollars, in fiat. So it's just a completely different world right now. And a lot of these technicals, they sort of get drowned out, again, because we're in the 21st year of the 21st century. This all ties back to Saturn. And the New World Order is manipulating this market heavily by the code of Gematria. And remember what I always say, manipulation isn't bad. You just want to get on the right side of the manipulation. And that's what I teach you here. Don't be a bull. Don't be a bear. Be a wolf. Follow the moon. So let's go into the XRP charts really quickly, and then we're going to wrap this up. We're getting a noticeable rejection off the 200 simple, which happened yesterday. That was actually kind of what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting this to just break out in a straight line. We're seeing RSI is definitely struggling below the 50, but we do have the MACD crossed bullish on the daily. That's good. This is telling me that we're going to chop sideways until we start getting daily closures above the 200 simple, ideally above the 200 exponential, around 80 cents. It would be really nice if we could get a monthly close tonight above 70 cents, but I don't see that happening. That would be a huge buyback for today. And I don't think there's that much liquidity to go around, but you never know. When we have the stock market close around 4:30, 5 p.m. Eastern time, there's a lot of liquidity that either enters or leaves the crypto market. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that by now. So always pay attention to Eastern time zone, because Eastern time zone is Washington, D.C. and New York. Washington, D.C. is part of the Trinity of the New World Order. You have Washington, D.C., the Vatican, and the City of London. That's the financial trinity of this market. So when you're looking at the perspective of the DC time zone, it's in alignment with New York. And why is New York so important? Because it is the New York Stock Exchange, and it's what runs the energy of the whole stock market for the world. Anyone who says otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. So we're getting some support on this 8 simple moving average on the daily. Let me make sure that that is checked. Exactly. Perfect. So we have that 8 support, on this moving average right here. Very nice to see. That's our shorter term moving average. So ideally, you've heard me say, I like to see these yellows cross with the whites. When the yellow 8 simple crosses above the 55 simple, we get a bullish reversal 9 times out of 10. Sometimes we do get fake outs depending on market structure, but that's what we see for the most part. You could see right here, you see this cross right here. When we got that, we actually never crossed bearish again, and the price went all the way from 35 cents since the cross all the way up to $1.96. That's a 440% gain. All right, that's all the cryptos do this. So that's why I pay attention to the 55 simple and 8 simple. It's a little cheat code for everyone. And I offer so many different like little tidbits like that in my course. You know, this is just like the tip of the iceberg here, but this information is critical for people to see. Now let's bring up these fibs. I will just recap on what I was bringing up yesterday, which is the 86 cent level. That 86 cent level being at the 236 fib, that's a line in the sand. So getting a daily closure above that, that's where we would start to see bullish momentum up to potentially $1. This 55 simple is going to be a battle zone. We haven't actually retested the 55 simple since the day of the dump. So it's going to be an interesting next month. Again, the month of July coming up, and also the 27th week of the year. That 27 number comes back to Ripple and the Chaldean cipher. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited to see how next week goes. And also, it's the last 2 days of my Mastermind course sale. So if you'd like to learn how I do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, be a good time to join that while it's on a discount. Tomorrow is the start of the new month on Patreon. If you've been waiting to join the Mastermind Community membership, you'll be getting access to all of my exclusive Patreon posts, weekly Red Pill episode, technical analysis podcast, and access to our private Discord group chat to hang out with like-minded individuals in this matrix. And of course, we'll be doing the Gematria Masterclass. 4 decodes, 4 weeks. I'm excited. Appreciate all of you guys. And enjoy the rest of your day in the matrix. Much love.